Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another story time with Marcus. I think you like the previous um, camp story times, so I figured I would just tell you a little bit more. So this one has more to do with like my interactions with the other kids and with generally the camp, not so much with dating. But the stories were super funny. As a background, I have grown up amongst animals and insects as well because I was very curious about them, and my father taught me how to catch them and how to play with them and all that. So I was really familiar with insects and animals in general. Uh, so when I went to summer camp, that was like in the middle of nowhere. That was like in the middle of a field, mountains, close to the sea. It was just all over the place, pretty much. Like it was in every single biome. There were a lot of insects, a lot of bugs, anything but scorpions. We didn't find the scorpion. I didn't find the scorpion then. So for some reason, all the other kids just could not. All the other boys in my age group, so it was around like 13, 14, maybe 15 even, just could not. Like they couldn't handle the bugs. They were like scared or like grossed out by them. I don't know why, because I always had friends with me that we just love to play with bugs, and it was weird. But to each their own. So whenever there was a bug, they would just call me and like, "Hey, there's a huge bug over there," or something like that. And one time I remember like everybody ran away from like the mini golf course that was just a little place with grass among some paths that we had inside the campgrounds. And it's like, oh my god, dude, there's a huge fucking grasshopper there. I'm like, wow, grasshopper? And that grasshopper was about like 6 centimeters long. Like, it's a huge grasshopper. And I caught him like, holy shit, this is huge. And everybody just ran away from me because I was holding a huge grasshopper, but the grasshoppers do nothing. Anyway, I just released it. Another time we were in the showers at night. So it was like, say like 12, like after the festivals and everything, we just go to brush our teeth and everything. But we also need to wash our feet because when you're in a house with 20 guys that were out sweating all day, they take off the shoes, their feet stink. So we had to wash our feet. And one shower stall, like a kid went in, looked up, and there was a huge spider, like the size of an adult palm. Um, and he's like, "Oh no, we're gonna die! It's gonna eat us alive!" But no, I just washed my feet in that one because nobody was using it, and everybody was like really far away from it. I wanted to catch the spider, but it was like, "No, don't do it! You will die!" And like I didn't do it because they would like I don't know what I don't know. Just was like, okay, fine, Jesus. Anyway, that was the story of the spider. But now we're gonna get in the good juicy parts, like the main bread and batter of these stories. So my favorite bug that I love to catch in the summer are cicadas because even though they have an amazing camouflage, they're just way too fucking noisy, so you can just tell where they are most of the time just by sound. Other times you can see them far away if they're not like positioned well, but yeah, that's a different story. I could see cicadas everywhere. And cicadas here in the city that I'm at are pretty small. They're about like 4 centimeters long, maybe three. They have a very like light kind of birch tree coloring. Not birch tree, like a bit more gray coloring. But in the summer camp that we're at, because it was like a whole different fucking biosphere, and like the skaters there were like 3 times the size, 2 times the size, sorry, 2 times the size, and they were black and yellow. So I was like fucking beyond excited of catching those guys, even though it was pretty hard to find them. Um, I was really excited about catching them. And one summer, uh, my group was just like walking around, and I was just finding cicadas down on the floor because like they were exhausted, they haven't eaten, and I was just catching them. It was like, but they were dying soon. But it was like, what the fuck are you doing? One day, we were having pool activities, so we're swimming and everything. And as we finished the whole swimming class lesson, whatever we were doing there, I don't remember. I saw a big black cicada, or a BBC, if you if you insist, in the edge of the pool, like where the drain is, just drowning. So I just picked it up and took it out, and it was fine. It flew away, but it was like just called me the cicada guy or something like that because I was just saving cicadas. Nobody knew that I loved cicadas. So a few days later, we had like a tournament between us, like our house and a different house of the same age group, and the final like sport that we were playing against them was football, the European version of football, not the American version of football. I suck at football. I'm not good at it. I never really played it. Was not very social in school, so I was never really playing football. But I knew how to kick. So I was just playing some defense and all that. And after like 90 minutes of playing, we were tied for scores, us and the enemy team. So you're a certain distance from the goal, and you need to kick it, and you need to score. Everything gets like 5 shots to put in to score, and whoever scores the most wins if it ends in a normal tie in the 90 minutes. So that's where we're at. And I kid you not, we were gaining one, losing one, gaining one, losing one, gaining one, losing one. I wasn't playing goalie because I wasn't the best goalie, and a friend of mine was really good at goalie, so he was just catching a bunch of goals. They got two in though, and we had one in, I think. Yeah, we had one goal in, so we had to tie them at that point. To then we have a final shot to win or tie up again, and just end in a tie or a win or a loss. And because everybody knew I sucked at football, I wasn't very confident. Nobody really wanted me to shoot it because they were like, "Oh, he's gonna definitely miss it." The good news is I was very underestimated by their goalie, but that's completely unrelated. I think I don't think that really played a part of it. But the funny part is that I was like mentally preparing myself. Okay, I'm gonna kick. I'm gonna kick top left, top left, top left. It didn't go top left. It just went bottom left because I don't know how to kick in football. I just know how to kick. Um, and a friend of mine is like, if you score, I'll give you 1,000,000 cicadas. And everybody just laughed a bit, and in my house, like my team, just fucking laughed, and I was like, okay, then bet. And I hit it, and it goes in. The goalie didn't even move. I think he thought I was just gonna throw it straight, and it went in, and everybody was just like freaking the fuck out. Like, how the fuck did he score? I was freaking the fuck out. I don't know how I did that. Um, I don't remember if we lost, tied, or won that game, but I remember that part. It was great. The same year, we also had another festival, like not another festival, like another sport that we did, which is like it was in the same football field, and we had to take a huge like yoga ball from one side to the other, like rugby kind of style. Um, and that's how I got a good scar on my arm because I had a very good grip from a young age. So if I had the ball, I I, I would not let go, and that turned out to work against me because I grabbed the big ball and I was holding it, and then like the whole enemy team just piled up against me like like a fucking wave, and they just like grinded me through the ground, and I got a good scar on my arm that I can still see it now. To be fair, that was not very safe. That was not a very safe game to play as children because there was like we could have easily been trampling each other, but I don't know what the camp counselors were thinking, honestly. No, that was my cicada story. But That's not the end of the Bug King. No, no, no. I had more stories with bugs. So since we were out in the in nature and all that, we had a very very big issue with flies in the room because they would just find a lot of shit to sit in and put eggs in, and it was just fucking annoying. No matter how many duct tapes from the ceiling we put, that flies would just stick there and die after a while. They would just never end. Us boys found like three different ways to deal with them, except my way. So let me just tell you what we usually did. One, they sprayed them with axe spray, the deodorant. It killed some of them. Some others were just fucking breakdancing a bit, and then they were fine. So I don't know if we created like populations of flies in the region that are now resistant to axe spray or some shit, but they were fine. Um, the other one were the duct tapes, and the third one was just to like try to slap them, but that wasn't very effective. Now, as a very insect oriented person, I knew that the eyes of the fly mainly focused on movement. So if you don't move that much, or if you move very slowly, it's like you're not moving at all for them. So I'm like, I can kill the flies easy. So every time I saw a fly just sitting around, I would just go with my hand over like a slipper, very close to them, like a few centimeters off, and then I would just do a very explosive one, like bam, and you just hear a boop, and then just the fly was dead. And I was killing so many flies back then. They called me the fly killer or something like that. Like they called me a murderer of like bugs. Then we didn't have that many flies anymore in my house, and the flies on the next houses increased, but our house was much cleaner. Still a lot of flies, but way less than before. I don't know if they got scared, like if they understood that, wow, there are a lot of dead flies here. Maybe I shouldn't go here, but I don't know. I missed a bunch of flies. Like I couldn't kill all of them. Some of them were really fast. I just fucked up, stuff like that. But when I killed most of them, it was fun. Fun in a way, like yeah, I'm a fly killer. Um, that was how I became the fly killer. Yeah, that's how I was pretty much the king of bugs in my camp. Nobody else would touch them. Nobody else would go near them. Nobody else would kill them if they needed to. I was the only one they could trust and turn to, bow to, and give their money and taxes to. Yeah, that's it. A bit of a story. Next time, I'm gonna talk about some different fun stories that I have from camp. Mainly how we created a legend of ghosts in the forest and how we fucking tricked a whole community like of our age group to believe that they existed. But next story, not now. Um, yeah, if you did enjoy, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.